The vision of the school was birthed by Pastor Ide Iloyamade and Dr. Pastor Shiju Iloyamade. I must say that Pastor Ide has a passion for education. He sees the city of David going even up to university level when it comes to education. And in 2008, he decided to put a team together, to start a creche at the city of David. And I think that's where, the RiverBank School's journey started. Initially, it was started just as a creche, and then it grew to being a full-fledged nursery school and now a primary school.
When we were called into ministry many years ago, about 25, I think, thereabout years ago, we had little children, and it was just myself, my sweetheart, and 2 other families, and we had little children. So we just needed to start something for them, and I believe that that's one of the reasons, apart from the fact that we love children.
We all know that the church has forever been in the forefront of education worldwide, and because the church is given primarily to moral instructions, we thought it best to capture the children when they were young and to ensure that they were kids for life and acquire the right skills.
The covenant that we have with God is to go from glory to glory, and we had somebody who could run with a vision. Regina is quite ambitious, and she has the capacity, to grow the school, and the school just had to move out from the part of the sanctuary where they started to where they are right now. And I just thank God, for her and her team, and of course my sweetheart also, who has been the pillar, in pushing her to do what I think is right.
The day the RiverBank School started, and I would say was the day the RiverBank School was dedicated, which was Saturday the 28th of February 2009. It was a glorious day. When the Bible says that, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to that mountain, be thou be moved, and it shall be moved. It started as a very small seed, us dedicating, the entrance, dedicating junior church as the RiverBank School at that time. And it's amazing how that one room, that one block has turned into massive structures that you see today. The day was memorable. Memorable for me because God was at the center of it all on that day. A lot of praises were done, a lot of prayers were done, and indeed we can see the fruits of the prayers, the fruits of that was done on that day. You can still see it today. It's still causing us to not to rest on our oars, and we're still pushing and striving to be the very best that we can be.
My dear RiverBank, so you are 10. It's just like yesterday that I first came and Miss Banjoko, Buki and Ibukun were sitting at COD and we were just planning. But then our first baby Tochi started, and then we built the jungle gym, and then the nursery school and primary school, and you grew and grew. It's been such an honor to be part of it.
It was interesting. I resumed with 2 other teachers, Miss Ibuku and Miss Toi. And it was just the 3 of us at the very beginning. Didn't know what to expect because there were no children here. But there were a lot of things to be done, putting things in place. A few weeks after that, the former school administrator, Mrs. Daniela Jibade, resumed. And before children resumed, all we just did was putting things in place, what needed to be done, or needed to be set up, because we started in the basement of the church, the junior church, until the first child resumed. By then we had more staffs.
Okay, it feels really nice to be the first child of RiverBank School. Based on the pictures I saw, I was actually really excited to come to school on the first day, and I think it was a very nice day.
She didn't cry, she was very happy, carried her bag and all that and came to school. And she had a lot of attention, imagine staff, teachers, and she was the only one, so they had, ample time for her.
Not nursery school was really nice and fun. Everybody got along with each other. All of us were friends. All of us are still friends now, but we were really close then. Everybody was friendly. We were all together.
I started RiverBank in 2009. I started in creche. Well, since I was a baby then, I'm not exactly sure what happened and what was going on. So after creche, I went to playgroup. Then after playgroup was pre-nursery. After pre-nursery was nursery class, where I met my teachers and all my friends that are still my friends to date. Then when I finished with nursery, I went to reception. Then I graduated from reception to year 1. After year 1, I went to year 2. Then I went to year 3. Then year 4. Then I went to year 5. Then to year 6. Then I graduated from the RiverBank school. I went to Lifeworks.
I've been in the RiverBank school for many years, and I would now go to Christ College Beckham. So I came from a school that Miss Regina was previously in, and I met new friends, and I loved the teachers, and I loved the experiences that I had, and I loved the events like Sports Day and the International Day.
When the RiverBank school started, we started using the junior church premises, and we were there throughout the year 2009 and 2010. And at 2010, it dawned on us that we were outgrowing the junior church space, and we knew that we had to build a purpose-built nursery school, and that was when the vision to build first came about. And when we decided to build, of course with support from Pastor ID, Pastor Shiju and the board, we then went to the church, to tell them about, our needs, and the church was very supportive. Indeed, they are still very supportive of the RiverBank school, but it was amazing how much members of the church put and contributed towards the first building of the RiverBank school, and indeed we are very grateful.
10 years has been very phenomenal. We were here when they built the nursery. We have a roll call of people that even donated just a bag of cement, even a bag of sand, or even one block or something, because a lot of people paid for that. So I would say that the transformation for RiverBank School has been wonderful. RiverBank School has become one of the go-to schools in Lagos now. I hear that there's a waiting list. People take their kids out of other schools to bring them to RiverBank. So I would say that the journey has been wonderful.
The RiverBank was referred to me by an older friend of mine who I see as a senior sister. At the end of my maternity leave, I had been searching for nannies, and just a week to going back to work, I had no nanny for my daughter. I had no plans, and I broke down crying that day. I said, I'm going back to work in 5 days, I have no care. And she said, why don't you try? She gave me a number. She said, call Regina Jemide. She used to be at daycare, something care, but she now runs the RiverBank creche. So I called her, booked an appointment to view the creche. On viewing the creche, I thought it was okay. I saw the nurses. I think the comfort for me was the Christian environment, which was why I didn't want to leave my child at home alone.
My daughter, who graduated in June last year, had been at a daycare which Miss Regina ran, called the Child Center. When that closed down, it was a logical thing for us to move with Miss Regina to the RiverBank school when she started it off. So I think Morenike was the 3rd or 4th child that came to RiverBank school. For us, it was a logical move because her leadership style, the sort of care in which she'd had at the Child Center, we knew that that would be transferred here, but on a much larger scale. And that's why we came to the RiverBank school.
When I first came here, my one major complaint was communication. Like I was clueless about what was going on in the school. So being a new parent, it was very confusing. So after the first year when we did the reviews, they always do a feedback session after each year. they mentioned that what are our concerns with regards to the school, and I pointed out communication, communication, communication. Literally the next year, it was a flip. Now, my complaint is over communication. They communicate with me on phones, via WhatsApp messages, emails, and any kind of source now. So I've seen improvements in that aspect. I've seen improvements in every single thing we mentioned. We mentioned that parking's an issue. Year on year, they try and improve that. We mentioned that sign up for clubs is an issue. Oh, it was dreadful the first day I came here. Now they've got a system that works and gets us out of here within 5 minutes. So every single time we bring something up with regards to anything we have concerns about in the school, they always address it. So it's one thing I love about RiverBank.
It was fun. There were a lot of ups and downs. I met a lot of friends and I met most of my favorite teachers. And when I came to RiverBank, I found out that I loved science and mathematics.
From nursery 2 to year 2, we used to do something called design and technology. So we used to do things like sewing, then we use the computer sometimes. And then we usually use paint. So I used to paint dresses and all of those on the computer. So it was really fun, and I think that's how I learned that I wanted to become a fashion designer.
Well, I learned how to calm down and be kind to people and think about what I say before I say it.
Now, with regards to my children, they have grown to be extremely curious human beings, and I noticed that the school challenges them and pushes them way more than I expected a school would do. So they broaden their knowledge, try and get them to understand the world and different aspects, regardless of, how will I put it? Aside from the ordinary maths and English that is being taught, they teach them a broad range of things. So, the child development is amazing. My kids have learned a lot of stuff, and I'm really happy about the learning experience here.
Well, it's surprising that they're already 10 years, and it shows that they're moving faster than the speed of light, It's amazing what God has done in the past 10 years. And I just believe that God, who has been faithful in the past, is taking them somewhere. All we have to do is just to believe God, trust Him, and keep walking. They say the journey of 1,000 miles starts with just one step. So what we do is just keep walking towards the vision that God has given us.
The beginning of everything is always small. We didn't have all that we have now. We didn't have the structures we have now. We keep getting better and better and better as each year goes by.
With the RiverBank, I can say it confidently that expansion was a natural phenomenon. It wasn't because we wanted to expand. The school did so well that we were forced to expand. And that is just the basic truth.
What amazes me the most is the amount of teaching equipment that the RiverBank School has. When you go into every class, you see a lot. In fact, there are so many teaching aids in here that are not available in so many schools out there.
We sort of were in this small place before, and all of a sudden, the semblance of a proper big school had started to sort of take shape. So for us, it was exciting.
There was a sense of relief, because at that point, we had grown to a point where really all the kids were pretty much on top of each other, and we knew that we needed something that I guess was befitting for the sort of institution which we wanted to grow the school into. And so when we heard about the plans for actually building the school, and we actually started seeing something happening, I think that all of us were very happy.
I remember my son woke up in the middle of the night and said, "Mommy, I want my RiverBank school." And I said, "What did you say?" He went back to sleep. And I told the dad that we had better not take them to another school. I think we should just leave them in the RiverBank school. And that's how they did the primary school.
My daughter too was having the same fears. "Mommy, I want to stay in RBS. I like the place." I said, "But you need to go to a secondary school." I said, "When next you see Pastor ID, ask him if he's going to build a secondary school for us."
What I see about this school that they constantly do is improve. It is phenomenal how they've grown within the 10 years from where they started to where they are right now.
It's nice to see something that you started with and you see it being nurtured and it's growing.
10 incredible years. 10 amazing years. 10 years of God's favor.
We are so grateful for where we are. We can never forget the years of small beginnings, and we look forward to great things that the Lord is yet to do with us.
The RiverBank School that started as a creche, we have a primary school, we're going to have a secondary school, and there's going to be a RiverBank University to the glory of God.
Pastor Heidi Eshe, Miss Gina, you are the best. And RiverBank, I wish you all the best. Happy birthday.
I pray that the journey continues.
There's still a lot of work to be done.
Everybody wants to be a part of this whole family.
We are so grateful for where we are. We can never forget the years of small beginnings.
A place that is inviting where they can learn and play.
It's 10 years of God's amazing grace.